Hello everyone, back tuning into today's video. Going to have a look at the weather next week to 10 days in today's video, which will take us into the first week of October. I think we can almost go into the first 10 days of October with this update. It's turning a bit more autumnal at the moment. You can feel a bit more autumnal for the weekend, but it looks like next week you're going to get another build of high pressure to the east. Which is going to have some warmer conditions coming up again. We're not going to go back to the heat that we have through September. We're getting later through the year, of course. So it's going to get harder and harder as we go along to generate heat. And actually, by the time we get through to the end of October and into November, high pressure will be a signal for cold weather, really, compared to warmer weather. But next week, I think we are looking at above average temperatures, not excessively warm. And a lot of dry weather coming up. That's the broad theme again, I think, as we go into next week. A lot of anticyclonic influences. So I'll show you the detail in a second. Before I get on with that, just to say about the ads, there's links to articles or pages. Have a browse through it, click through the links. If there's any articles that you're interested in, you'll be having us pay for website. Thanks very much for doing that. So these are 500 millibar height anomalies for the next week to 10 days. We've got the ECMWF here on the top, and the GFS, which I'll look at in a moment, is on the bottom. 500 millibars, 80,000 feet, is an area in the atmosphere where high pressure and low pressure are being moved around by the jet stream running above. So these are mean flow charts next week to 10 days. This takes us into the first week of October, and quite clearly what's going on with the ECMWF. We've got ridging up to the north across Scandinavia, also extending down through the UK and down into Western Europe. So it's basically a continuation of the pattern that we've had on and off really since the middle of July, which is for lots of anticyclonic influences to be building through the UK and going up towards Scandinavia. The difference, of course, is that we're later in the year now, so it's harder to generate very high temperatures. But this probably does give us, at least by day with the sunshine, fairly warm conditions, and the jet stream again is going something like that. So we are placed on the mild side of the jet with that one. The GFS is very similar. Again, the ridge is through the UK and extends up to the east and the northeast as well. Low pressure is out in the Atlantic, trying to bring autumn, but not really able to. Jet stream doing something like that. So it is a signal for a lot of dry weather there as we're going through into next week. You can see this on the GFS temperature and precipitation ensemble. As I say, we're a bit autumnal now. We'll remain so into the weekend. The red line here is the 30-year temperature average. You can see that the temperatures are going to be below average a few days through the rest of this week and into the weekend. Next week, though, the temperatures will lift up again. As I say, we're not going to get into very high temperatures. We're not talking about a heat wave, but I think we're going to see temperatures going solidly above average again through the course of next week. Precipitation shows the dry weather coming up. We have got some rain on the way, particularly on Saturday. There'll be heavy showers, maybe longer spells of rain across England and Wales on Saturday, but after we've had a lot of dry weather there through the first week of October, maybe the rainfall spikes beginning to come back into the second week of the month. That's quite expected, by which time temperatures are again starting to cool down. We've been in this pattern for several weeks where we get a fairly prolonged spell, maybe a week or so, of dry, warm anticyclonic weather, and we get a few days of cooler, more unsettled conditions. You think autumn is beginning to set in, and then we go back to the ridging. So this drop in temperature that we see on the ensembles, or with the ensembles, in the second week of October, that might be the definitive move into autumn, but I wouldn't want to say definitively that that is the case. Temperature anomalies of the coming week show that we're going to be a little bit milder than average. That even takes into account this cooler phase as well. Not sure about that. It could be a little bit cooler than that suggests, but average temperatures really coming up. Nothing excessive either way. Precipitation anomalies dry than average pretty much across the whole country. Ireland and Western Scotland comes out a bit wetter than average, but the bulk of the country actually dry than average from the 29th of September through the 7th of October. So here we are for Monday, then. High pressure is building through the UK and going up towards Scandinavia. Low pressure is out in the Atlantic. We go through into Tuesday and Wednesday, and high pressure is in there over Scandinavia. Trough is dropping down through the country on Wednesday. That could bring some rain across the country. But once that gets excuse me, once that gets out of the way, high pressure reforms to the east. And then we go through to Friday. This is Friday, 7th of October. Again, lots of high pressure dominated weather. The high is in there over Scandinavia, trying to turn the winds round to the east. That high pressure continues up to day 10, which is Sunday, 9th of October, by which time low pressure is starting to push in from the Atlantic once again. And as we go through actually into the second week of October, just going a little bit beyond the 10th day, it does turn more unsettled then. We'll wait and see on that one. Eventually autumn is going to kick in, of course, so that might be it. That might be the definitive move into autumnal conditions. We'll have to wait and see. ECWF for Monday again. There's the ridge building through the country. It becomes a very dominant feature over Scandinavia on Tuesday and Wednesday, by which time on Wednesday we are bringing a trough in off the Atlantic. It's more unsettled day on Wednesday, but look at this, going to Thursday, and the high pressure begin to reform down to the south again. Now, quite a deep area of low pressure starts to push into the north and west of Scotland on Friday, 7th of October. That's a little bit different to what the GFS is doing. That brings us a bit of a blow of strong winds. But after that, again, the ridge comes back from the south and west. We aimed up on day 10, Sunday, 9th of October. Very similar to where we start off, really. All this high pressure is sitting to the south and going up to the east as well. Low pressure is in the Atlantic. Jet stream's doing something like that. So there's no sign, really, of a extended shift into autumn yet. It looks like it's going to be more autumn over the next few days. So rest of this week into weekend is going to be cool. There's going to be some showery rain around on Saturday as well. Next week it looks like the high pressure comes back to the east of the country. We won't be looking at excessive heat because we're in October now, so it's going to be hard to generate very high temperatures. But I think going above average, there'll be some pleasant spells of warm sunshine coming along. Lots of dry weather as well through the course of next week. So that's how it's looking on this morning's update, or this afternoon's update, I should say, given that it's nearly 1 o'clock in the afternoon as I'm finishing the video. Right, that's all for now. It's JMA Friday tomorrow. We'll have the month ahead look ahead with the Japanese model. Come back for that. But that's all for now. Thanks for watching.